Hi everyone. So we all want our home to feel luxurious, right? But sometimes it feels like all those Pinterest ideas can take a lot of budget. But what if I tell you that there is a way to make your home feel super luxurious and spacious without breaking a bank? I am architect Sarika from SK Design Studio and she's Gargi.
Hello.
She's my daughter and today we will be taking you around this super luxurious 1200 square feet flat for Mr. Mistry.
So the first thing to keep in mind when designing something is the design brief. The design brief given by the client for this particular flat was that they wanted to forget all worries as soon as they stepped into the home. They wanted tranquility, peace, comfort and luxury all in one flat. So let's see how SK Design Studio has pulled this off. So the first thing you see as you enter is this beautiful 3D paneled MDF wall behind the sofa. There's always a confusion as to where to keep the sofa wall and where to keep the TV wall. TV wall should be seen as soon as you enter because it looks elegant and luxurious. So let's have a look at the TV wall. TV wall in this flat was short, but looking at this you might be thinking that it isn't that short. Well, that's because we've added an SK Design Studio special hidden door which opens right here. It is made with the same material as what is used in the wall, which is marble finished acrylic. We've also added open shelves made with wood veneers over here because adding an entire shelf would take up more space and the TV wall is quite short. Some other materials that have been used are wood veneers as well as PU paint on the shelf here. So let's have a look at the entrance lobby next. The client really wanted a fish tank in this flat. A lot of thought was put into where exactly the fish tank should be placed. Things like the Vastu were considered. Also, as soon as you enter, if the fish tank is seen, it looks beautiful and elegant. Now, talking about this entire section, the material used here is wood veneer and there's a beautiful goodbye mirror also placed. This planter is customized with PU paint and this shelf is made with wood veneers. And we've also added a few accessories to zhuzh up the entrance lobby. Let's take a look at the rest of the house.
So I will give you a design tip here. This living room is looking really spacious, isn't it? It is because we have applied a 60-40 rule. Now what is the 60-40 rule? The rule says that always try to occupy only 40% of the floor by the furniture and keep the 60% of the floor open.
So let's take a look at how we've achieved this 60-40 rule. The most important thing to keep in mind is to use floating furniture. For example, the sofa right here has legs on it. Had it been on the ground entirely, it wouldn't have achieved that look. Also, we've used a swing here and we'll talk about the swing later. Looking at the TV wall right here, these drawers are also floating. They're not on the floor entirely. One more thing is that the dining table was avoided in this flat because this family primarily eats on the floor. So all of these small things like having legs on the sofa have allowed us to have more floor visibility in this flat, making it seem bigger and thus more luxurious. So let's take a look at the swing. The fabric of it was changed to match the furniture, and the best part about it is that you can change the view.
Now the second very important tip to make your home look spacious and luxurious is that always use full height curtains. So here, since there was a space to have ACs on the other side, we have made sure that we take the curtains from the ceiling. Now always remember that use plain curtains. Have you ever seen printed curtains in any of the luxurious hotels? So don't use a lot of prints or patterns. So use plain curtains which will enhance your rest of the furniture, but always try to use luxurious material here. Layer your furniture, like you can have different type of fabric on the sofa. Now here we have used this very luxurious boucle fabric. Again, if you can notice that the sofa with the fabric here is again with the plain texture. We have not used lot of prints since it's a contemporary design. If it is neoclassical or if it is some different style, you can always go with different type of printed fabrics. But if it is contemporary and if you want to make it super luxurious and spacious, always try to use very luxurious fabric but plain textures. Now you can also see that since there are no patterns on the curtains and no patterns on the sofa, we have given some patterns on the carpet.
Let's take a look at this beautiful mandir right here. They already had an existing marble mandir. Also, we've added a beautiful ghanti, and there is a tray also given here. And there are also two drawers here for all the mandir related storages. Moving on to the kitchen and the breakfast counter. As I told you, this family didn't want a dining table. Instead, we've opted for a breakfast counter. There was an entire wall right here, including the mandir, which has also been carved out from it, and the wall has been broken entirely over here to make this an open kitchen. The kitchen itself was given by the builder. So what makes this breakfast nook area so special? If you can see, it has been framed entirely by this wooden paneling. And there's also a beautiful niche carved here with artifacts that can be put. Initially, there was a column jutting out which we wanted to cover. That's why a niche has been placed here. One more thing to note is that the frame is jutting out slightly and there's a groove right above the frame. This is to prevent any cracks that might form later. Also, a few other things to note is how this has been accessorized with the clock as well as the lights. And if you look at it all together, you can see a very cohesive look because the colors of the wood paneling also have been matched with the rest of the living room. In this breakfast counter, there's also storage that we've added, and if you've noticed, we've matched the paneling to go with what the builder has already provided.
So friends, this is the entrance foyer. The entrance foyer is your home's first impression. Never skimp here.
This is the entrance lobby and people often overlook it, but it really sets the tone for the entire house. Let's have a look at how SK Design Studio has designed this. So the first thing you see when you exit the lift and come into the lobby is the nameplate. That's how it was positioned, because had it been on this wall, then it wouldn't have been visible first to the eye. There is marble finish acrylic back here, and this is a custom MS frame. There's also an arch shape that really adds elegant and frames the nameplate really nicely. Moving on, these are charcoal PVC rafters, and these are repeated here and here as well as on the opposite side so that everything ties in cohesively. Right here, this is an entrance door which was laser cut to have these custom designs, and it was finished with PU paint. On the opposite side here we have the shoe rack. If you can see, it is the same acrylic that was used behind the nameplate. One reason that it was used for was of course cohesiveness, and the second was that while using this acrylic for the panel opposite, a little bit was left over, so SK Design repurposed it over here. Now looking at the shoe rack, it is completely finished with PU paint, and it's got drawers right here and cabinets here. And one small thing is that there's space under the shoe rack, so if you use shoes, there's some shoes you'll use daily, you can just remove them and tuck them away like so. So far we've looked at the entrance, living room as well as the kitchen. Now let's have a look at the innards of the house. This is the passage area. The passage area connects the master bedroom, the daughter's bedroom as well as the washroom. What you can see here, which is an SK Design Studio staple, is the loft space that we've provided here. The only space you can perhaps compromise on the height is the corridor. So here we've reduced the height a little bit and instead added lofts which are often used to store suitcases. Let's move on. Let's take a look at the master bedroom. So the master bedroom had the dimensions of 10 into 12 feet, which is a little bit compact. They wanted to have a TV unit, a desk space, a full-size bed, and huge wardrobes for storage. So let's see how SK Design Studio has pulled it off. So they also wanted to have a big mirror. So we've provided a big mirror right here by the entrance. One more thing it does is that it increases the space visually of the room. Right next to the mirror is this pull-out storage which can store storage that can be used for the mirror, like dressing stuff. Moving on, these are L-shaped cupboards and they have been fitted with glass paneling, tinted glass fluting. And this really adds a lot of elegance to the room, especially when sunlight comes in and it reflects to that. Let's go and have a look at the TV unit. So the TV unit is really special here because fabric textured veneer has been used, and the same patterned rafters have also been used. So if you have a look at it as a whole, you can see the richness that it gives to the design. It also has a desk space right here which can be used for working, and there are also drawers provided for storage. Right here, if you didn't notice, is again a hidden door. This door is there for the washroom. So this is the bed area. If you've noticed around the house, there are these panelings right here. This is MDF paneling, and we've used it here near the mirror, as well as at the TV unit and the study table area. So MDF panelings is an excellent way to add that elegance and finesse to your house without spending too much money. But you have to make sure that you pick the right design for it. If you have a look at the bed and headboard area, you will see that it has a nice pop of color. Initially, the clients wanted a nude or a brown combination theme, and SK Design Studio suggested them to have a slight pop of color and suggested this color, and the feedback that they got from their friends and family was amazing too. So these curtains right here were also sourced by SK, and as my mom told you in the living room, that picking plain colored curtains without any prints on it always adds elegance, and that's what these colors have done for this room.
So friends, my design tip here is don't be afraid of using a pop of color. Like here we have used teal color for the headboard and the curtain. It adds to the personality for overall neutral space. Secondly, using the reflective material like this profile shutters adds to the elegance and the depth. And thirdly, if you are using this kind of hidden door inside the panel, it gives overall uninterrupted and sleek look.
So let's take a look at the daughter's bedroom next. This is quite easily my favorite room in the entire house. The daughter is a fashion designer, and thus she needed a lot of storage. She also very specifically needed 2 tables, one to keep the machine and stuff related to fashion, and another table to do other work, and which also needed to be quite big in size. The room is only 10 feet by 10 feet, and incorporating all of the specifications into this room was quite a task, but somehow SK pulled it off. So taking a look at the elements for storage, we have a big wardrobe right here. Next to the desk, on top of the desk we have shelves. We've got a platform bed, which is really a game changer for storage because it acts as a floor, which ties into the 60-40 concept, but at the same time it increases drastically the amount of storage that you have. There's also this shelf/desk right here, which also has a lot of storage. So the theme of this room was boho and a little princessy, a little girly, according to the Pinterest inspiration that the daughter sent to the team. And how this is pulled off is by using a combination of silhouettes as well as materials. If you have a look at this wardrobe right here, it has been finished with a cane finish laminate, which ties into the entire beachy boho aesthetic. Moving on, we have the desk here, which is a floating desk. It creates nice legroom to work, and it also acts as a side table for the bed right here. So this with the combination of the curtains as well as the ceiling, creates a room within a room and creates a nice separate area for sleeping. As I've already said, the platform bed creates storage, and if you look at these curtains here, they are a combination of sheer as well as blackout curtains, and when combined with the curtains on the outside, which the daughter very specifically requested, it creates a very cozy environment for one to sleep in. So, just to show you how the look of the room changes when the curtains close. I want to sleep here right now. So the daughter, as most daughters do, wanted a big mirror in her room. So we've added a black laminate putty to frame the entire mirror, as well as add a little bit of design to an otherwise plain mirror. Moving on, there was a small 3-inch space over here, which we've converted into a storage as well as display piece. So if opened, clothes could be hung here, things could be stored there, and also more things could be stored right down here.
So a small design tip here. If your room is small and you have a lot of storage requirement, specifically if it is for young daughter or son, the platform bed is a game changer. Don't be afraid of using a platform bed. Secondly, if you are going for a boho theme room, using cane finish laminate is lot more recommended because it is easy to maintain and it is also easy on pockets.
So let's have a look at the son's bedroom. The son is slightly older than the daughter and wanted a more mature, clean and minimalistic look. SK Design Studio is very intent on designing the house as per the client's personalities, and in the house, the rooms as well, according to who is living in them. So let's take a look at how that has been achieved. So the first thing that you see as soon as you walk in is this beautiful laminated desk. Now there were two reasons as to why we put the desk here. The first one is that it creates a nice passage here so that the room gets two sections. One is the bed, which gets a little bit of privacy as soon as you walk in, and one is this passage area. And the second reason is that had we put the desk right here opposite to the bed, the desk as well as the chair would have created clutter and it wouldn't have been as easy to walk around. Now next, let's take a look at this wardrobe. Again, the son wanted a minimalistic and mature look, so he didn't want too much going on with the wardrobes in terms of visuals, but we have used a very luxurious material here, which is a micro lam laminate. Instead of having black finished edges like it normally has, we've also finished it with the same laminate on the sides. Now we've also used statement handles right here to create a sleek look for the wardrobe. There's also a storage compartment right here to put any quick storage things or hang clothes up here. And yes, we do have a mirror for the sun as well, which is a sliding mirror right here with storage behind it. Taking a look at the bed, this is an L-shaped headboard bed. We've added a thick headboard to give it a luxurious and more elegant feel, and also make it seem a little bit more comfortable. And again, a hidden door is over here for the washroom. The wall here again is completely plain because he didn't want it to be crowded. He wanted it to be very minimalistic. And you might be wondering if there is another secret door right here, but there isn't. This is created to match that on the other side, and so it creates a nice balance on this wall.
Final design tip here. Neutral color palette with layered texture help keep the room calm and grown up. It's perfect for young adult.
So let's take a look at the balcony. The client initially didn't opt to get the balcony designed, but some last minute changes were made and we did design this wall. So the client didn't want anything typical like grass or any typical design that one usually puts on balcony walls. Instead, we opted for these new stone finish charcoal, and we paired it with rafters. Now both of these are completely waterproof so that they don't wear and tear with the weather. Now the wall on the other side is the same, but there's one small difference. Let's see if we can find it. So this right here is a secret bar cabinet for all your guilty liquid pleasures. And there's also a pull-out table right here so that you can mix drinks and serve them to your guests. This house was only 1200 square feet, but we made it look spacious, elegant, and full of personality by applying core design principles.
Exactly. So if we can design it for our client, you can also apply this design principle for your home. If you have any doubts, please do not forget to comment in the comment box below. Subscribe now. If you want us to design your home, just connect us with the contact number given below. See you soon with our next vlog.
Goodbye.
Bye.